Waleed Madibo joins me on set. He's the founder and president of the Sudan Policy Forum. We appreciate your time very much. So, I mean, I think maybe there was some sort of ray of hope that there were going to be talks, mediation, that the Ethiopian prime minister was going. But there are still reports of raids. There are still reports of arrests. It's difficult to do reporting there because we don't have anyone on the ground. But you say you're also hearing reports that rape is being used to intimidate people. Why would the protesters trust the other side if these types of things are still happening?
The protesters don't trust this transitional military council anymore. It's just the naivety on part of the forces of freedom and change. I think it's very clear that the situation went over and beyond any negotiation stage. Now, the best that Abiy Ahmed, as respectable a man as he is to provide an exit strategy for the leaders of the Transitional Military Council so that they don't commit more atrocities. Okay. They have killed, in a cold blood, they have killed about 500 of the people in the sit-in. They can kill another 5,000 and it may go to 50,000. Imagine this
So what's to stop that? What's to rein this in so that there are actually substantive talks and not just a show? What can rein this in? The forces of freedom and change need to be very firm. Anytime they mention the term negotiation, it's just giving hope to the Transitional Military Council. So they need to be very firm. They have to provide courageous leadership, and I'm very sad that about one of the very few, if not the only credible person, Muhammad Ismat, he was just handpicked and he was just arrested, and they even started shooting just in front of his own feet. So they could have killed or injured him. This is one of the very credible and authentic sources. He's now held into custody. Obviously, they would want to play I mean, the rest of the negotiation team into their own hands. The Transitional Military Council is cunningly wicked, is very ruthless. This is the very group that have committed the genocide in Sudan, and God forbid if they are not stopped by the international community, they may even go to killing 50,000 in Khartoum. So let me ask you that. Do you think that is what it's going to take, is even more than some sort of mediation from Ethiopia, that it is going to take real international pressure to say there will be consequences if this escalates?
That's exactly what they need to do. Something similar to what the French did with Gaddafi. If you don't just bring this to an end, we're just going to target you. Of course, the United States is now being played in the hands of regional powers. So it's a useless situation. The American nation itself is in a situation that is more dire than the Sudanese themselves. But you can count on the Europeans. You can count on the African Union, and definitely you cannot count on any of the nations in the Arab League, but there are some nations that are friendly to Sudan. I mean, Kuwait, it used to be, Qatar, Algeria, Tunisia. There are some nations that can stand up and just bring a word of consensus to the opposition. Okay. You can't reach out to the Transitional Military Council by any means.
Waleed Madibo, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.